Now we have hope. The strength of the START community. Presented by the Center for START Services at the Institute on Disability at the University of New Hampshire. Many people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and co-occurring behavioral health needs are misunderstood, underserved, and underestimated. The START model was developed to improve access to mental health and crisis services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. People referred for START services are typically in crisis, so START first helps to resolve an immediately destabilizing situation. This allows for hope and change going forward. Through positive whole person approaches, START helps people and their families to foster resilience, to overcome the inevitable stressors of life. START programs work with each person, their family, supports, and services to ensure that all have a common understanding of the person's strengths and abilities, in addition to their vulnerabilities and mental health needs. Now we have hope. The Strength of the START Community is a compilation of 3 short films about the impact START has had on people and their families in Texas, North Carolina, and New York. In this segment, you will see how a START coordinator and coach work together to support a girl named Rosa, her family, and her school to help treat her depression and open her world again. Rosa, shining her light.
Brooklyn, New York. A little girl skips beside an adult carrying a decorated backpack. Traffic passes an apartment block. In one apartment, another girl plays a computer game.
And why you making the school? You wanna show me?
No.
Why?
Yes, because I don't want to.
You don't want to? Why?
Because I don't want to.
Okay.
Clara Casas, Rosa's mother.
And then you not show me nothing for the school?
No.
Rosa Nieves, age 10.
So I heard school is going pretty well?
For now, I think so. It's okay for now.
Do you like the Hawthorne, Rosa?
No.
No? Not sure yet.
She dunks a cookie in milk.
Do you like anything about it?
The only thing I like about cookies is that they taste good.
She eats it.
And I like that. I'm a gamer girl.
What'd you say?
I'm a gamer girl.
She keeps playing while Clara sits on a futon behind her.
Rosa.
Rosa gets up and goes to her.
I did my mom.
What?
She sits with her and hugs her.
¿Me quieres mucho? Mucho, mucho.
Rosa juts her head toward Clara's face.
Me quiero, okay?
NYSTART Region 4, Richmond Kings.
Thanks everybody for coming. Today again we're going to be looking at Rosa for our clinical case review today. As usual, we're going to put our heads together and brainstorm and see how we can support Deandra.
NYSTART Region 4 has worked with Rosa and her mother for about a year. At the time she was referred, Rosa rarely left home, except for school.
So we just want to put our heads together and see how we can come up with a good plan to support Rosa.
With a dozen other people, director Sharon Cyrus Savory.
So Deandra, why don't you start by just giving us a little overview and then tell us where we are currently with our work.
Okay, well, Rosa's a 10-year-old Hispanic female. She has autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, and initially she was diagnosed with intimate explosive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. She's helpful, she's loving, creative, enjoys drawing.
Coordinator Deandra Brent.
She's also resilient because Rosa has been through a lot during her short 10 years. Rosa came to New York START because she was exhibiting physical aggression towards her teacher, towards other peers within her classroom. She was unable to communicate her thoughts and her feelings, and she would talk about suicidal ideation. She would make threats, I'm gonna kill myself, I want to die.
Rosa lies in bed with a laptop.
Prior to me receiving a case, she was hospitalized in Bellevue. They wanted to make sure that she wasn't suicidal. She was losing relationships. And then these acts of aggression would come into play, and then she would have to leave the school. And Rosa's mother did tell me that one time she asked her mother if she was crazy. Why am I not like the other children?
Rosa lies on a windowsill playing with a window blind chain.
Why do I keep going to the hospital? When she was brought to the emergency room, these diagnoses were placed on her because of what they saw right then and there. It's not that they knew Rosa or who she was, but she was exhibiting isolation. She was not wanting to go out into the community. So my clinical impression was that she was depressed.
Sharon.
You want to kind of update the team where we are now and how coaching is supporting Rosa?
Therapeutic coach team lead Corey Fisk.
She had wonderful receptive, but really struggled with expressing her emotions. So what our coach is implementing are different strategies that Rosa can express to her mother what's going on with her.
NYSTART staff meets with Rosa's mother and an interpreter, Deandra.
So this also comes with autism. When she's nervous, she's not really understanding what's gonna happen.
Corey.
Something's wrong. So Rosa identifies as she's upset. You know, what's exactly wrong? Perhaps she misses someone, but maybe it's a sensory sensitivity of the space is too noisy. So this is also giving her more language to communicate.
Al menos cuando ella nos quiere decir las cosas, te dice cómo se siente con su manita.
Yeah, she says it's helped her a lot because even when she doesn't want to say, you know, if she asks her, how are you feeling? She doesn't want to say, she'll point to the pamphlet.
That's awesome.
Tri-County Care Manager Maria Rodriguez. Rosa attends Hawthorne Country Day School, which is an NYSTART partner. Deandra Brent, Rosa's NYSTART coordinator, provides outreach and collaboration to school personnel.
Students who attend Hawthorne Country Day School are generally here because the schools that are a part of their districts didn't feel they had the level of service that the students needed based on their evaluations.
Program Manager Kim Aruda.
So they attend our school to get more targeted support.
Rosa stands with Zylena Greaves.
So students can function at a more independent level.
Teachers work with other students.
We would always want to see a student who is able to go back to their home community school. At the heart of what we do are decisions that are made in the best interest of the child.
At the case review, Sharon.
We did quite a bit of systemic consultation with the school in order to better understand what was happening with some of the expression of wanting to harm herself.
Thanks for using my name.
At the school.
Sure. See, when you use my name, I know that you're talking to me, right?
We do something called strength spotting. When I see somebody do something that shows their persistence, and I know that's a top strength of those, I can capture it. I can identify it and say, man, you really stuck with that.
Dan Tomasulo.
And with strength spotting comes strength activation.
I'm looking at him and using your words.
Rosa plays a board game with a boy.
If I acknowledged that or validated that, you would be much more likely to demonstrate that. And once people are doing their strengths, it's like you're shining your light in the best possible way.
Therapeutic coach Alexa Eugene.
Down the road, when she's a teenager, when she's 16, you know, it might be really helpful for her to understand that she's a team player and for her to understand her appreciation for beauty and excellence, so she can utilize that and have her own self and her own esteem to kind of help carry her through the challenges that she will face.
Deandra.
What I wanted to do was bring what her mother was teaching her at home, giving her the time and the space at home, bring that to the school. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely.
Deandra provides consultation to Rosa's teacher, Leah Kuriyama.
Yes, I just wanted to get an update on Rosa, see how she's doing. What we do at New York START is like we strength spot. Because some of her strengths are bravery. She's always willing to do like different things. She has the courage to do it. She's not afraid to try it for the first time.
One thing that's great with her is kind of following her lead and letting her, you know, make her own schedule and give her peers directions, because that incorporates her strengths, her leadership into things that she doesn't typically enjoy so much.
And also with increments of breaks. in between when she has breaks, where she's not just focused on work, and she has breaks in between, she does very well.
Yeah. She does really well with a timer. She knows exactly what she's doing, exactly how long she's doing it. So if we're not talking in a Rosa voice, I have to stop the timer. We found that to be very successful with her. The timer stops when she stops doing her work. Let's start here, right? The directions start here. So
She points out a section on a page to Rosa.
what's the first sentence? And she knows that she has to get to 20 minutes or 30 minutes to just kind of relax and take a break. All right, nice job.
Rosa stands and high-fives her, then plays a video game.
If she is working and you start to see her get frustrated, we just give her vocal prompts like, you know, you can ask for a break.
Rosa with another student.
Matthew, can we play? What do you want to play with him? Candyland.
Other teachers guide Massimo to look over at Rosa.
Tell her with your device.
Sharon.
How did the Cross Systems Crisis Plan help with informing her new group of supporters, her new caregivers in school?
NYSTART Clinical Case Review Meeting, all START team members. Clinical team leader Deanna Baker.
The Cross-System Crisis Prevention and Intervention Plan is a document that we create collaborating with all of the systems that are in a person's that a person works with. So we work with the family, we work with the school, psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, state program, whoever supports the person that we're working with. So this is a document that outlines what to do in the event of all these different levels of crisis, and who to call and how to assist the person in that moment.
Some days she has good days, some days she has bad days.
Deandra.
She would come off the bus. If she was agitated, her day would not go right in school.
Thank you.
Xylena blocks Rosa from grabbing another student. Rosa jabs her shoulder into Xylena as she continues to walk.
So what her teacher did was create an intervention using the Cross Systems Crisis Plan that asked her to express her feelings.
Xylena speaks with her.
She would point and it would be happy, sad, okay, or miserable. So from knowing that, they would know what she needed.
Sharon.
So the good news is that through working with our medical director and consulting with Rosa's psychiatrist, we were able to rule out the intermittent explosive disorder, the impulse control disorder, and it was decided that depression was clearly the more indicated diagnosis at this time.
Yes, that's accurate. Her medication was changed from Prozac 40 milligrams to 60 milligrams. She was deficient in folic acid, so she was giving folic acid and it began to give her more energy. So with this medication change, she's up and about, she's vibrant.
It really speaks to the biopsychosocial lens through which we have to look at folks.
With Rosa, Xylena.
Parachute time. We're gonna have what? I don't know what.
Calm body.
Calm body. What else?
No screaming.
No screaming. What else?
No fighting.
No fighting.
Corey.
When we completed the happiness assessment with Rosa, we learned a lot about how PERMA impacts her life.
Clinical director Jill Hinton.
PERMA stands for positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. And all of those things are things we all want in our lives.
Students and teachers wave a multicolored parachute.
Positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. So that's what we're trying to build into the plans that when we work with systems and with individuals.
Rosa lies under the parachute. Corey.
For example, in the pleasure section, in her answer to a place to go just to enjoy herself and not think about anything, she answered mountains.
Standing, Rosa.
Rory, what's your favorite cookie?
Rory, what's your favorite cookie?
Chocolate chip cookies.
They all shake the parachute.
She likes to think about being in the mountains, feeling the breeze with her eyes closed. She also talks about how deeply she loves her family. I'm very proud of some things I do in the world. This is what I am proud of. She wrote, being nice to her brother. The people that she cares about, my friends, mother, and father. So In order to be preventative about crisis, she should always have access to her family, doing positive activities. And this will prevent crisis even from brewing in the first place.
We are all cultural beings.
Cultural and linguistic competency mentor Tawara Good.
And as we think about culture as it relates to Rosa, her family was primarily Spanish-speaking, lived in New York City, large city, huge urban setting. What does it mean to live in such a setting, to be able to access services, getting transportation, understanding the meaning of disability to this family?
Clara speaks with the NYSTART team in Rosa's house.
Creo que nuestra vida.
Your START provided interpretation services so that the family could indeed understand and participate.
Clara.
Siento que somos en la familia.
Maria.
So she's saying the quality she feels that as a family, it's just their perseverance and just working very hard to try to make sure that Rosa's okay and that she's happy because their life as a family revolves around Rosa.
How was school?
Good.
Wonderful.
Deandra.
Rosa's anxiety can be overwhelming at times. She doesn't like being around crowds. She doesn't like the noise outside. Rosa always stayed in the house. She wouldn't want to go outside to go to the supermarket with her mother, go to the laundry. She didn't want to do any chores.
Rosa preparing to go shopping.
She was afraid of crossing the street that she would get hit by a car.
Corey.
So what the therapeutic coach implemented was a first, then next. So instead of, all right, we're gonna go outside now, let's go, get ready. It was like, okay, it's time to get out of bed, then we're gonna go brush our teeth, and then we can put on our shoes.
Rosa walks downstairs.
1-to-1.
Child coordinator Chantel Diamond.
In terms of having a preventative measure, maybe prepping her before she goes so that she can get used to different noises that do exist in the world.
Vamos a la farmacia de aquí, que quizá tú consigas algo ahí.
Rosa and Clara step outside.
Allowing her to see these are the things we can do to ensure that you're fine. So if you hold your mom's hand, that's a safety precaution she can take. And now she has more control over the outside environment as well.
They walk holding hands.
And the pharmacy right there?
Yes, but
They cross the street.
Vamos ahí? ¿Sí? ¿Sí? ¿Vamos a la farmacia? ¿Sí o no? Okay. Vamos
They
a
reach a
entrar.
pharmacy on a corner. Clara opens the door and they go inside, walking down narrow aisles.
TV product.
¿Eh?
Smiling, Rosa points up at something on a
Pollo en
wall.
la queso.
It's a SC on TV product.
Oh, yeah.
They step to a counter.
Okay.
Deandra.
And the biggest accomplishment that I think Rosa has accomplished is interacting with others. Her mother would ask her to interact with the clerk behind the counter,
I'll give you the hand, please.
give them the money, and then she would say thank you afterwards.
Thank you so much.
Rosa gets the bag.
So her mother has played a very tremendous role in helping Rosa with socialization skills.
They go outside.
Give me nice hand, please. Why you phone not pushing the different hand? You like me have you back? Yes? Okay. Ahora sí. Está más
The family just has so many strengths that we build on. She's also resilient because there are times when she feels overwhelmed.
Deandra provides training and outreach at Rosa's house.
Okay, so that's my training on autism. Does anyone have any questions? Is it something that you didn't understand? Any concerns? Something you want me to go over?
Maria translates for Clara, who answers.
Dígale que no tengo preguntas, pero me quedé pensando mucho en lo que me dicen porque es verdad muchas veces no los entendemos porque no sabemos cómo tratarlos.
She says she doesn't have any questions, but it left her thinking about, a lot of things that, Rosa has done that she didn't understand before. And she wasn't able to understand her, but now she's learning how to, understand autism and understand Rosa more.
I think you did a great job with Rosa.
Deandra and Maria touch her shoulders.
Oh, Papa. You did a great job with her. And you see the change?
Oh, sí. Ha cambiado mucho, pero esa es mi meta, que ella siga independizándose cada día más. Por eso es muy importante, sobre todo para los padres, tratarnos de instruirnos cada día más, para poderlos ayudar cada día más a ellos.
So she's saying she's seen a lot of changes with Rosa, and that, you know, her main priority is just being able to help her be more independent. So she, you know, she hopes that other parents who have children with autism are able to become more knowledgeable so that they're able to help them. So she was saying before she got our support, she was working with one of our intake coordinators, and that moment in time, that's where Rosa's behavior was the most challenging, and where she didn't really understand because she didn't have the proper resources. So now that she, you know, she's learning these things, and with her experiences, she's just very grateful that she's been able to.
You did a great job. Don't worry, you did a great job. I'm happy for you.
At the case review, Sharon.
I know that Rosa's mother feels a lot more engaged in her education because of the work that you've been doing with her, and has really expressed feelings of feeling far more accomplished in terms of now she's able to navigate some of these things on her own. She's no longer relying on Deandra. So her capacity to kind of navigate the school system and navigate the medical system and interact and relate with all the people who are supporting Rosa has definitely increased.
Deandra.
Especially when Rosa was expressing suicidal ideation. She felt overwhelmed. She would cry most of the time, but now she has hope.
Clara and Rosa walk together holding hands.
She takes her time with Rosa so that Rosa is able to thrive and learn from her.
No hay problema? Seguro?
She's an excellent teacher and supporter of Rosa.
Entonces tú vas a comprar un cloche. ¿De qué color?
Directed and produced by Dan Habib. Executive producers Joan B. Beasley, Karen L. Weigley. Edited by James Rutenbeck. Assistant editor Francisca Blom. Filmed by Dan Habib. Production assistants Lindsay Alsop, Karin Clausen. Sound and color finishing Eric Masunaga, Shannon Mignaldi at Modulus. Special thanks to the staff of NYSTART Region 4 Richmond Kings, Rosa Nieves and Clara Casas, Hawthorne Country Day School, Tawara Good, Dan Tomasulo. This film was funded by the Center for START Services at the University of New Hampshire Institute on Disability. More information at www.centerforstartservices.org. Copyright 2020 Center for START Services.